Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the Pro Wave Trading Room. This is what we do every day, 3 times, 4, 5 times a day. We're taking trades. The trades are going or not going, and then we manage them, right? So we took a lot of trades this morning, and they're all going really good. So I hope you guys, it's a very, very busy time. We have news coming up in 15 minutes in the euro. Normally, we would trade that with a specific strategy for catching momentum, right? A very specific strategy we have for catching momentum, and we can't do that in this public room. Sorry about that. We have news at 4:30 in the US, which also we will have to miss. And the 5:10 news, I don't think that would do anything seriously. So I don't know. My traders, if you guys want to trade it, you can trade it by yourself if you know what to do. So let's go. What we're gonna do is I'll go through these very quick. And then we'll go. Dollar index, we were anticipating the downside once we got that running flat and the sell is there. Just keep it very light. Be careful of it. You can keep your stop above the top here. You can keep your stop above the top here and see how far this goes, right? Because this morning we were looking for that flag to go up. Once it came here, we came back in the room and we said, okay, put this as a running flat, put it for a sell setup. That's pretty easy, right? We have the same thing on the yen. We'll show you that. Silver, we took 2 trades. We took a trade yesterday. We took a trade this morning. You probably want to close those trades or you want to move the stops very tight. You want to be very, very tight now because this could be the end of the structure. 1, 2, 3, and it could drop. I would say, especially with news coming on, probably take profit and wait for another flag. All right, so gold we also bought this morning after it dropped this much and it went back up. This would have been a good buy. We weren't there. This is a good buy. It broke the top. You got to be careful. You may want to put it to break even or take profit if you have to. That's very small profit. That's not the profit we're looking for. But once it breaks the top, you can close the trade. Basically, it was a very small trade to go break the top. There's a good chance gold is going to drop. Gold and both silver is going to drop. So if you're going to trade in the news, I would be looking for sell setups on gold and sell setups on silver. We would use them, whether counter or not, we'd use them for sell setups. Euro, we bought euro also, but I guess you may want to close it. It's not going anywhere. There's news coming up. You don't want to live through, especially in the euro news in 15 minutes. If you want to trade it for the upside, and you possibly could do that, because remember, this is the low. If you want to trade it for the upside, close it and re-enter. Close it and put the buy above the top. So let's see. You'll put a buy somewhere. This is 0018, 38. Put a buy setup there. All right, I'm just giving you a clue. I wouldn't be following the trade. That's for my trader. Good question. Somebody just, and that's what I was afraid of. Somebody just asked why. And that's a specific strategy we're using. We're not going to discuss that in this room. Join our room, you'll get the strategy. Let's go. For Pong, this would be a close there. You see that consolidation, you close it. We spoke about it this morning that the chances is going to do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, take the trade, close it. Actually, you should be in the buy. I wasn't here, but the buy was there. If any of the traders took the buy here, that was a good one. I wasn't in the trading room. You guys took the buy? Anybody took that buy? Remember, we broke the low already. Okay, Zahib said you took the buy. Good. That's well done. So this would be a buy now. Now, we're not in it, but my traders should be, and I wasn't in the trading room with them after the New York session. It's going up. This would be a buy during the news. The problem is you would have to, I'm not going to go where we put all the entry orders anymore. You would have to put the entry order in this one yourself. You know what to do. Use it as a buy. It broke out already, but still use it as a buy. Can we assume that it is going to drop one more? Okay, if you don't have anything else for counter, let's say if we're looking for, we're already looking for gold and silver down, euro up, so we have counter trades. Pong, you can do both ways. Pong, you can go with the sell. You can go. I think the sell might be a safer trade. Go with the sell. Use the news for the sell, and if it goes up, we will buy it afterwards, right? For traders who are not in my group, give me just a couple seconds. We'll run through this very fast and then we'll come back. This is a specific strategy. So use this for a sell. Use this for a sell. Yen. Close and re-enter the yen. It's a sell, but you don't close it now. Close it close to the news. Put it to break even if you can. I think you will have more than 20 pips. Put it to break even. Put the yen to break even and leave it. So all my traders should be in the yen, so you put it to break even and leave it. Swiss, this is for the dollar news, right? This is not the euro news. This is for the dollar news. Swiss dropping, so It's already gone. Leave it. Stay out of the Swiss. We'll wait for a flag. And CAD. CAD you can use for a sell. CAD is a good counter to use for a sell, but be careful. It might just give you a single drop. We have a nice kind of a expanding flat there, but it might just give you a single drop. Right? Use CAD for a single drop and then look for the reversal. No, this has nothing. It has to do with the pattern on what we're looking for in the trades. But where you enter, how you enter, where your stop is going to be is very, very specific to a strategy we use to catch momentum. It's called momentum trading. We do this in our trading room every single day. There's a news event. I come in there personally and we trade it because it's a very, very sensitive strategy, right? It's a little. We can't do it here. Let's put it that way. I don't want to make trade calls here, and this is actually like making trade calls. We do it in our trading room. My apologies for that. We really can't do it in here. I don't want something like that on the YouTube. That is specific. It's specific to the trading room. When it works amazing. 80% of the time, nothing happens during the news. We can attest to that. 80% of the time in the news, nothing happens. When it does happen, when it does go, it go well. So if you're taking the CAD, if you guys, for my trading, if you're taking the CAD, be careful. This is your target. That's about it, because the chances are CAD can go right back up. Right? So you're going to be careful of the CAD of going lower. Okay, let's go. So keep your eyes on those trades. What else we want? That's it. For the euro, if you guys want to go through the euro, I'll go through really, really quick if I want to trade the euro. Let me see. Euro was. Use it for a buy. You're in New Zealand. The buy should be closed already by now, the 15-minute buy. You definitely want to close it after you see it consolidate there. The takeoff didn't happen. Can we use it for a buy or a sell? This buy would be off, right? In front of the news, you're going to take out all of them. So let's see. You can go for a sell. I'll probably use this as a sell opportunity. We do have divergence and everything, so that would be a good sell opportunity. Swiss is absolutely a sell. There's no question asked, right? It can go back up one more, but I'll go with the sell only. It doesn't necessarily mean they will go back up, right? I assume this is going to go back up one more here, right? This one is going to go back up one more here. We can make the argument that this one is a flat and we're going back up. We don't have the buy set up, right? Go for the sell. And then if the buy does come in, we'll take the buy in the other trades, right? EuroCAD is a buy. We are already in the buy. You will have to close and re-enter. Don't keep the trade. This is positive trade. Don't keep it. Put an entry above. Can we use it for the sell also? For a drop, you can also do that. So you can use this both ways, whichever way you want to use it, right? Both ways, just for the momentum trade. And Euro Pong, absolutely a sell. How do we manage to get out of the Euro CAD sell? Oh, you're talking about the 15-minute trade we have here. I can show you that. You weren't in this morning. You weren't in this morning, right? No, okay, so the sell was here, right, under the last impulse, and it came back. This consolidation, or that pullback. Either of those would work, right? Depending on where you got it. If you got it under this consolidation, you will have to take a small loss when this pullback. Only this pullback will give you a small loss. So you probably close it somewhere here. Two reasons why you do that. I'll go very quick so that you can think. One, we broke out of the structure for one. Second, remember when this break, it has to drop and break the low. If it doesn't break the low and it goes back up to this level and it dropped back here, you close that trade. By rule. Like I said, you guys don't know all the rules we have for every single trade setup that we're going to manage, right? That's trade management. As a matter of fact, my traders would close it on the cluster. See that cluster that falls there? You close it on the cluster, re-enter. Close and re-enter. You wouldn't be in the second trade. So we took this buy, same thing. Here's a good example, same thing. We took this buy. We took the buy here this morning. You see what I just tell him? Close the trade. Right? Because that trade is not going. Now this thing might do this. That's a different entry. At the moment, we're not going to enter it. We have news in 15 minutes. I'm not going to give you the entry in 15 minutes, but my traders know what to do it. I would say, basically, I'll give you a little hint what you can do. I would put a sell there right now. If I was in the trading room with my traders in the news, I'll put the sell right here. I'm not telling anyone to put the sell anywhere. I can tell you where I'll put the stop. I'll put the stop here, and I'll put the sell here, and I'm targeting a drop like this beyond the low. So is it going to happen? Well, if it goes up, I wouldn't be worried about it. I'm still thinking this pattern is very intact, and there's a good chance that this is going to drop here. There's a very good chance for that. Now, because of the way we trade the strategy, you're always getting a trade. So for my traders, I think we can, if you want, use something else for the buy. You can, there's a lot you can use for the buy. Use this for the sell. So we're going to remove all the euro trades because during the news, let's see which one. EuroCAD will use that. Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss is definitely a sell. You use Euro New Zealand for the buy. You can use New Zealand for the buy. It's an up trade, or Euro Aus for the buy. You can use either. Though the euro dollar, I think, is a buy. The euro dollar is a buy for sure. The euro dollar is a buy. You just have to put it higher. All right, we'll take that as a buy. So use the counter to the euro dollar and the euro Swiss. Euro, which one was the one? I think it was the euro Swiss, right? So I'll take off all entry orders. I'll take off all of them. By the way, all trades. Here's the thing, especially for the person asking the question. All trades are recorded. All these trades, before we change them, we record them. So they are recorded in every session. Now, if you join me in the London session, you might see some changes from yesterday afternoon. That is because we have a session before London session, the daily webinar. That is where we make changes. Which what we did with the trade. The explanation is in the webinar. What we did with the trade, whether it was a loss, whether it was a win, whether it's a break even, whether we close the trade for small profit, small loss, whether the trade goes to a target, right? All of that is discussed there, and then we changed them. So you would see status change in most of them, like oil. If you're looking at oil, status change in oil, I'll show you what we had. This is an aggressive buy this morning. So what was that? If you were in the London webinar, what I said this morning was this. During our morning session, we had an entry order to buy there because we had this as a flag. And I said, well, if you were there in London, I said, if this comes lower into this level, take off that, wait for it to go back up, and then put the sell. Magic works, right? Why? Because we are assuming it's going to make a running flat. 1, 2, 3. That's a sell. You want to see one like that? We did one like that in the room. All of you were in the room. We had this sell. We closed it here. We put it under the low because that could go back up and drop. It could either make another flat here, or this could all be a big flat and drop. We have the same thing. We had this trade. I think you guys were in it when we got this trade. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, all sells. Is this going to drop? Well, what do you care? I mean, basically, do you really care if it drops? You're not buying here. You don't have a buy setup. If you're buying there, you're looking for trouble. Now, it could go up, but that doesn't mean you should buy it because you don't know that. You don't have a buy setup. What you need to wait for is for a break of the top and a correction to confirm upside. Right now, all it's telling me is that it can do exactly what this does, is drop. So we go for the sell. Both of these will be status chase, and these will be normal sell, by the way. Those are not aggressive trade anymore. That would be normal sell. Same here. See, that was the sell yesterday. This is the sell today. We're looking at similar patterns, except this one is a little smaller. You got 1, 2, 3. Is it going to work? And this is where people who do not know wave analysis very good will get confused, because they would say, okay, we have a flag, we're going for a buy, and then it drops here, and then I think I've even heard this from one guy, right? It was like, oh, your trade doesn't work. Look, it dropped here. I'm like, dude, we're doing forecasting. Do you know what that means? That means I'm taking one piece and I'm trying to make an entire pattern with it. We have one piece and we have this. So we looked at this and we said, if this goes from here, I want the buy. If it comes lower, we were not in the buy. If it comes lower and it comes to this level, I want the sell, because it's making a pattern here. And I decide on that pattern very early. I see this and I say, I like that pattern. This could go up. That pattern didn't trigger. It came down. So this is a correction. How deep is the correction going to go? You don't know. That's an unknown. You can't decide, I know. But if the correction break out here, you better be in the buy. If the correction come lower, especially if it breaks the low, okay, great. We'll wait for the sell. So you're still here, right? You're going to come tomorrow. I want you to rewind this piece, chop it, put it on, and see what happens to the trade. Now, if it goes up, are we going to be in the sell? No. I'm not going to be losing anything. But if it drops, I get the trade. Here is the question. What if it goes up? You say, well, we should have bought it. Where? Where would you buy it? Anybody, take the challenge. Where would you buy it? Where would you put the stop? It's up to you. Come back and let's see what happens. I'm not trading on luck. I'm trading on a specific strategy, specific type of analysis. It's working amazing. You don't need to change anything, right? When it doesn't go, you might likely not be in the trade, like the one this morning. That didn't go the way we expected to go. We're not in the trade. Now we have a good trade setup. So these two are changed, and we will change some of them as we go along. So 4:50, news is going to be in 2 minutes. Euro trade. I'll put it in the euro dollar just for the fun, so my traders can have some fun. We'll just see what direction it goes. I am more inclined to believe it can drop. This is a guess. This is not what it should be, right? We're just guessing here now. You guys could guess with me together. You're upside or downside. By the way, it doesn't matter which side it goes. We're going to get a trade. If you're following what I was doing, we're choosing trades based on pattern for both sides. We look at the patterns we have and we decide, okay, one for up, one for down. It looks like a 1 hour running flat. Yeah, this looks like a small running flat here for upside, but we already broke the, if you're talking about this, we already broke the top. So that trade is over. This could drop. Magic works, right? It's looking more downside now. Let's see if it drops. It could drop. I'm not basing the drop on the euro. I'm basing the drop on two of them that we have in the euro here. Euro Swiss, this possibility that this could drop, right? This could drop. It's already dropping. And I think the Euro CAD has, which one we looked at, the Euro CAD? Yeah, the Euro CAD. Well, it didn't drop enough, so don't worry about that. Your entry should be here, so you shouldn't be tagged in it. It's going back up, right? And that there's a specific reason why the entry is here. Like I said, we can't discuss that, but there's specific why the entry is here and not closer, right? So for the upside, do we have any trade? Do you guys have any trade for the upside? I think the Euro New Zealand Euro was. This wouldn't trigger either. It wouldn't trigger, so take off all the trade entry, take off all the entry. Right? Take off all the entry if it doesn't trigger. It's not going to trigger. This one wouldn't trigger either. You can put a buy here, but that wouldn't trigger. So no trades trigger. Basically, we call that a non-event. Nothing happens. And by nothing, I mean nothing that is of huge value to us, which means there wasn't a really, really big trade. We come back to trading, and after the news, we'll come back. There's no big movement that you need to be worried about. Okay, 1 second. We'll come back to trading. We'll go back to all the trading. Let that news just fade away a little. You're looking at this is which one? Oh, for the Euro USD? Yeah, it's possible. I think very good, by the way. We spoke about this earlier. I think somebody gave this earlier as well. Whether this was going to make 1, 2, 3, and then come back here. It's possible. I would probably, yeah, that is very likely. It could go a little more and then drop. It's possible, but not necessary because there's another option. So you will focus on both options at the same time, by the way. Very good. Well done. I think you have, you're starting to visualize the different possibilities in the chart. And that's the most important thing about wave analysis. And that's one of the great difference that we have from Elliott wavers, is that they have fixed possibilities that should happen in the chart. And these are fixed rules and it must happen. It has to make 5. It has to do alternation of patterns and all of that. We don't have all of that because I don't believe all of that makes sense. So let's go. I'm going to go through the trades again. We're recording, so no problem. Let's go through again. Dollar index, downside, still downside. That has not changed. Visual, that has not changed. We're not changing the dollar index trade, right? That was just the euro trades. We took off all the euro trades. In front of the euro news, you should take off all your euro trades, right? We have dollar news coming up now. So in front of the dollar news in a couple minutes, take off all the US dollar trades, including the yen, unless you can put it to break even. The only one you should probably think is those you can put to break even. If you can put this, you guys can put it to break even and keep it. Don't take it off. Put the yen to break even and keep it. If you lose it, you lose it. It doesn't matter. I think it will drop. For those of you who are not in the yen trade, put an entry. just put an entry on. You know where to put the entry. Put an entry for a sell. I'll still go with a sell in the dollar. So we'll take them all off in front of the news and we'll relook at them, right? In front of the news, we're going to trade the news way, right? So let's go. Silver, I'll take off the trade, go for the sell. I'll use silver for a sell. I'm just going to mark them, right? We will use silver. I wouldn't put the entry orders or the stop, right? We'll just, you know how to set it. So we're going to use silver for a sell. We're going to use for a buy. We're going to use gold for, euro. Put the buy in euro. I think we're making another flat here. Put the buy in euro. Sell. We're going to use this for the sell. Aussie. Sell. New Zealand. Sell. Yen. Sell. Take the break even. Go for the sell. Let it go up if it wants. You can use it both ways if you want. This is a correction. You can put it for both ways. I think there's a good chance it could go both ways. I'll use it for the sell, simply because of the possibility to the downside. Right? So, Swiss, sell. CAD, sell. Short sell. CAD is a very short sell. Be careful. CAD is a very short sell. Yep. Just to break this low. It will still be a sell after the news if nothing happens. So in 10 minutes, you guys will know to do that. This is just for my traders' internal use, right? So we'll go through them. Again, we still have a couple of minutes. We can take questions if you guys have any questions on anything else. Let's go through the other trades. We were in Canadian, we were in a buy. Now we have a buy setup. We have a buy setup on the Canadian, not in a buy as yet. It's still a buy setup. It's still active. You can still keep this. This week of free session is coming to an end. Can you please share some secret strategy with us? None of the strategies are secret. That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to get to you guys. There is no secret. Anybody who tells you that whatever they're doing has big secret in it is trying to con you. There is no secret anywhere. The strategy is based on basic. Let me go this over again. And I want you to share this video. Make it viral. This is how trading goes. There's no secret. Let me write it very big. Analysis. Without the analysis, you can't trade. It's like saying, I want to swim, but I'm not going to learn to swim. I'm not going into the pool. Right? So it's like, you know, they had the joke where the mother bring the son to the trainer and he said, okay, my son is not going into the pool until you teach him to swim. Well, you can't teach him to swim if he doesn't get in the pool, right? So you have to learn to do analysis very well. I have to steal your magic ball, right? Ivan is my trader. Ivan just told you guys what to do. You have to steal my magic ball. That's the secret. Analysis, analysis, and more analysis. Now, forecasting is what you do. If you want to become a trader, you must become a forecaster. This was a big argument at TradingView once when I said, everything I do is based on the forecast we have. And one trader jumped and said, well, I'm a trader. I don't do forecasting. I'm like, well, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because if you're a trader, you are actually forecasting. If you said, I am buying euro, you've just made a forecast. Do you know what the forecast is? If you don't know what the forecast you just made, you really, really, really have to be dumb. You just said to all of us, hey, I think euro is going to go up. That is why you're buying it, unless you think you're buying it for the fun to see if it's going to fall. The mere fact that you place a trade is you've made a forecast. So you are doing forecasting. And when I said there is no better forecasting tool than wave analysis, he didn't want to accept that. So he said, I am not doing forecast. I'm just trading. Right? So, you know, like you guys have to filter what you hear in the internet. Not everything you hear makes sense. So you're making forecasts. Now, what tools are you using to make that forecast? We use wave analysis. What is your tool to make forecast? Our analysis is all based on analysis and more analysis. Now, when you have an idea where you think this is going to go, let's say I have an idea that I think it's going to go that direction. I did the analysis. I look at this and I said, you know what? Based on my analysis, this one should go this direction. That's still analysis. At this stage, I'm still analyzing the chart, trying to make a forecast as to where the chart is going to go. Now I have to act on that knowledge. right? I have to make a decision. Do I want to buy it? Based on the knowledge I have, do I really want to buy it? If I'm going to buy it, then I have a number of questions. Where should I buy it? If it doesn't go my way, where I have to exit that trade, because you have to exit the trade if you're wrong. You will be wrong a lot of times. And if you're, sometimes you would be wrong. And if you're wrong, where would you exit the trade? And that will also be based on what patterns, what your analysis tells you. So my analysis tells me, if this trade comes to this level, come back here, it is still upside. It is still upside. It hasn't changed to the downside as yet, right? If it comes back to this level, break the top and come back here, it is still upside. Nothing has changed. So I would say to myself, you know what, where would I take this trade and why? Should I take this trade here? Well, based on my analysis, they can do this and they can come back here and then go back up. So if I take the trade here, where do I put the stop? I cannot put a stop here because based on my analysis, this trade could come here, take me out and go back up. So my stop has got to be somewhere different from that. Well, it has to be under the last impulse. The last impulse is here. I don't want to put the stop there because I can put the stop there, but then my trade, if I'm only targeting this on the trade, let's say that is my target. Then by the time from my entry point here to the target is less than my entry point here, that's not a good trade. Risk to reward is not worth it, right? Now, we have a specific thing we're going to do if we still want to take this trade because we think it's a really, really good trade, but we have to use a stop here, right? That's a different part of the strategy. Let's go with the simple strategy. So I'll say I'll put an entry order here because if we break out of this structure, the chances of this going is pretty high. If they tag me here and start to pull back, I will not even allow it to come back here. I would exit that either here or in any correction here. Follow? That is my strategy. I'm planning my strategy as to where I'm going to enter, where I'm going to exit the trade. If all goes really bad, that's the strategy part. And then when you get in the trade, let's say you put an entry order here, and that sucker tagged you, come here, your target is here, it comes to this level, and it starts to pull back. This is where trade management comes in. The next big thing you would have to learn, and I mean really big thing, is trade management. Understanding the patterns and understanding how you're going to manage every given trade you're in. Because if you can't do that, it doesn't matter how good you're at analysis, it doesn't matter how great your strategy is, you might end up, well, if you're good at analysis and good at strategy, you might end up breaking if you're managing your trade very bad. If you're managing your trade very well, you might be very successful at it. Because what trade management says, the rule for trade management is that all good trades are going to take care of themselves. I have to take care of the bad trades. So if this trade is a good trade, it's going to do this and boom, hit my target. It's going to do this and hit my target. That's a profitable trade. I don't need to do anything. The trade is taking care of itself. If the trade is not such a good trade, it's going to tag me, pull back, maybe even stay here for a while, maybe still go, pull back, maybe stay. I have to deal with this. Maybe it's going to do worse. It's going to tag me. Let's erase that. It's going to tag me and start to pull back here. So I have to deal with this. What do I do in that case? Maybe it just tag me and stay sideways. What do I do with that? Every given situation that could arise from when you're tagged in the trade, you have to have a very concrete set of rules of what you're going to do. And those rules, again, come back to based on the analysis of the chart, what analysis you're using and what that analysis is telling you. Is it still going to go? Is it going to pull back and take you out? Is there a chance this pullback is just a small pullback to continue to go? Is it going to stay there for a long time? Do you want to stay in it for a day and then come back and watch it go? What would you do in every given situation? And that is what the trade management is going to help you. Because my traders now can trade with calm, because if they're in the trade and it doesn't go their way, they're like, okay, great, we're out of this trade, basically. That's it. Now, it comes down to that. Now, is there anything that is secret in that? No. The secret is join my group, basically. The secret for you to becoming successful is joining the group, learning to do the analysis the way we do it, learning the strategies we have, starting mastering the strategies together with the group of people we have, and you would have lifetime access. There is no other group anywhere on this earth, maybe outside of the earth as well, that will give you 3 or 4 or 5 trading sessions a day the way we do it, with details of the trade, details of the strategy, details of how you're going to exit the trade, and record all of that, so that if you're not in there, you would still get a chance to see it. And all of that would be for free. All you would pay for is the course, how to learn this stuff. You're paying for the time we're going to use to train you. After you're trained, the rest of your life, you have access to this. There's one trader coming back into our group who was off for 4 years, family reasons. I just spoke to him today. Really good guy, amazing trader. For 4 years, he wasn't really active so much in trading. He's back now active, joining back the group. That is lifetime access. We had a girl who actually gave birth, joined the group, got married, gave birth, came back to the group. That's lifetime access. That is what lifetime access does for you. You don't have to pay again. You come back into the great group, you know all the people, you learn, you pick up back what you miss, get back into the trading room and trade again. Can't be better than that, right? That's the secret. Since you asked for the secret, that is it. So I think you were already in the installment program, right? Am I correct? You mentioned that already, that you're in installment program. Give me a yes or no. I think the last time you mentioned you were in there. Okay, he's not answering us yet. I hope he's still there. And I hope you guys can hear me actually. Somebody better give me a yes to let me know you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. So he'll probably answer a little later. So that's the secret. There's no, if you're in the installment program, don't worry, very soon you're going to be in the group. Oh, well, you're not. That's someone else, and you're not. So you should join it. So for $100 a month, you're going to have twice access to the group, twice daily. That's 10 a week, 40 a month. And all of that will be free because the money will be going towards the payment for the course, not for what you're getting. What you will be getting, you'll be getting for free. You're getting it because you have an intention to join the group. So you're only getting it because you're showing us that I have the intention to join the group eventually and learn this stuff. And for that purpose, we're going to give you it for free. You're not paying for that. You wouldn't be able to pay for 40 sessions a day, 40 sessions a month, right? With this quality of work you're going to get. You believe me, you can't afford to pay for that. If you really go to Google it, go and Google all the programs out there and see what they're charging for it. The live trade, if you're in the installment program, we're working on bringing those people in live twice daily, like we did now, right? These 2 sessions, you will only get these 2 sessions. So that is why this is like a test run to that. This, what we are doing right now, is a test run to preparing for those traders to get access to it, these 2 sessions. So basically, we're test running it to see how it's going to work, because we need to coordinate with my traders. We need to coordinate with the rest of the group. We need to make sure that it's actually working good for us, where we can do it like this and it wouldn't affect what we do in the trading room. So if you're with us now and this was, you're in the, let's say this was a session we were doing in our trading room and you got access to the program and you were here, you would see how we trade the news. You would actually see it, which you can't see now, right? Because we can't do that here, but we'd have done it. Anyway, let's go. I know everything is over. The news is finished. Let's go see what happens to this. Just for the fun of it. Euro, what happened? Nothing. Good. Euro, you're not tagged. Let's see. Pound drop. Nope, but it's coming down. That's good. Aussie. Nope, but it's coming down. That's good. New Zealand. Nope, coming down. But we got the direction right. They're just not going. I think the yen might give you a new high. If you guys want just like this, I said the same thing for this flag and for this flag and for this one. If you want to buy it now because it's 1, 2, 3, it's going up. The buy setup is here. That's without the news. The buy setup is there. You can buy above the last impulse. I wouldn't be so. I'm trying to see if there's a possibility that we're making a more complex running flat. Okay, this has a pullback in it here. So if there's a possibility that you make a more complex running flat, they can come here, tag you, and drop. Put the entry order above this. Put the entry order above here. Because if it's making, for my trade, if it's making a more complex running flat here, right? Let's assume that is a possibility. You can watch it because this one was short, right? This actually, notice this here, did that come drop here? This wasn't that big. So if they come in and do this and drop, you don't want them to tag you here. So you want to stay with that. So we will put this as a buy for now, as a short-term buy. I'll put back this where it is. That's a short-term buy for there. But if it doesn't tag there, if this goes up, again, this is very careful. This could be for everybody. If this just comes to this level, don't break that top and start to go back down. Change this to a sell. Right? The rest of the news are just press conference. Don't worry with them. Ignore that. So again, let me repeat this. If it comes to this level and it doesn't break through, it doesn't break through this top here, and it stops and turn, immediately take off that, go for the sell. It could be a more complex running flat. Structurally, it's possible. So we're going to put this for both sides. We're going to put it in the blue for both sides. Let's go. Dollar index. If you were trading the news, you would not be in the trade basically because before the news, we'll take that off. It is still a sell. This here is still a sell. We don't have a buy setup, right? There isn't a buy setup. We did break the low. It broke the low. It's pulling back. Pulling back by itself like this, it doesn't make, sometimes you get more pullback in here and you get a more complex pattern forming, right? But for now, it's a sell. We will only go for a buy, and that will be probably tomorrow. If this comes up here and make a flag, then we will go for the buy. Right? It has to go up, it has to make a flag, and then you get a buy setup. If it makes a flag in here, it's okay too. Anywhere in here you get a flag, it will be a buy setup. Without a flag, it's still a sell. So silver, the magic works, right? Silver dropped. So take this off, wait for a flag, sell it. If you are on the, I don't think anybody got tagged anything in the news, by the way. Any of you guys trade silver to the downside in the news? It's possible you could have got tagged, take it off, wait for a flag. The momentum is almost dying. Wait for a flag. So for my traders, we need a flag here before we can actually confirm the sell. Any flag would be a sell setup. Go to the 1 hour, go to the 15 minutes or the 1 hour, wait for a flag and sell. Let's see what gold is in. So we're putting this as a sell flag. Wait for that. Let's see what happens to gold. Gold, this is off. That's an old one. That's way before the news. That's all. Gold also would be a sell. So it's possible gold could do this. It's very possible gold could do this. Go back up, make a flat, and drop. So there are a lot of sharp waves in here, so it's possible. If you get a flag and you'll get a small flag like this, it's not going to be a big one, right? You can get a very small flag like this. We sold this, for those of you who remember, we sold gold. You guys were with here, right? Monday, we sold here. We sold, I think we sold this one here. And we closed that here. We closed it here. Remember, we closed it. We put the entry order either under here. We put the entry order under. We closed it here. And we put the entry order under that one. There was probably here we sold it to. So there was a number of sells in gold that we closed. All of them were closed here on this pullback here, right? That upside. Wherever, but you close them. We're going to repeat the same thing here. We need a small flag here. We're going to sell it, probably get another one, sell it, come to this low, and then we're expected to go back and retest the top. So today, tomorrow, we'll get some trades on this. Leave this alone. It's going up. It's going to break the top, and then we're looking for a sell on this, by the way. The sell is going to be a big one. So it's coming to about this top here, and then we'll go for the sell. I'm not interested in the buying that. It's going up really bad. It's going up really slow. It's not giving you, see, if you take this, it pull back, it's not going anywhere. I mean, when it gets to the top, it will fall. Euro still could possibly go up somewhere, right? It still could go up. See, we're not breaking out of the structures completely. So literally this could still make a new high. You could expect, even if it's this, you could still stay here, make a new high, and then drop. So I wouldn't put the downside on it as yet, unless it breaks alone, give us a flag. Unless it breaks this here and give us a flag, we're not buying, we're not selling it as yet. So take this off, take this off. Those two we're looking, we're looking for a sell setup, not a sell. We're waiting for a flag. Pong. Yep. Pong is a sell. You can literally put a sell on the Pong here now. We're putting the sell there, and if you get a flag earlier, you can sell it. So if we get a flag here, we'll take this trade downwards, but we can sell here if it just drops. If it just falls through the bottom, you should be in the sell already because we don't know that it doesn't go through the bottom. Right? We had a similar one here when we sold it. You guys remember we sold that, we closed it, and then we sell it here, we close it here. The same thing we're looking for in here. It can break the low again. Aussie. Aussie definitely a sell. Here's the problem with Aussie. Be careful with this. We're trapped in this. Take it off. We need to break the low, but we're trapped in that. I don't know that that is a contracting kind of a flat somewhere in there. So if you're going to take it, don't let it tag you here and drag you back like that for a flat. Okay? Don't let that happen because that is a possibility. It can come here, tag you, and drag back to the top and then drop, making a flat like this. Every time you get a contraction, that possibility is. So wait for a small flag and then take it. If it makes a small flag under here, and in any case, the Aussie trade is a small one. It's only to break this low. Take it off. On the news, it was a good trade, which means in the news, if there was momentum and it would drop really hard. So you will get the trade. Right now, it's going to go slow. So if we get a flag from now on tomorrow morning, we'll take the trade. New Zealand. New Zealand is a better one. We don't have that. We got this, we got to pull back. We get this, we got to pull back. We're getting this pull back here. We almost break the top. It could drop. You could literally put an end shorter here or wait for a flag. Wait for this to make a flag before you sell because it could drop also here and go back there. So we wait for a flag and then we take the trade. In the case that it's moving really fast, which means it's not correcting, put a sell there. And this sell is only if it continues to drop fast. If it stopped, consolidate, take that off. Yen. Yen both ways. You can put the buy here for one more impulse up. Like I said, if this goes up here and stop, turn, you will see the turn. It has to turn, start going down. We'll sell it again. We'll go with a more complex running flat. That's possible. Swiss. So this is how, this is the secret. Somebody asked for the secret. This is the secret. Can you mute yourself? We will, don't open your microphone. We'll have issues if everybody open their microphone. Thanks. Yes. So this is the secret. We look at the analysis and we decided both sides possible. We sold it this morning. We closed it for break even because of the news. And in any case, it would have been a break even trade. And it's not a good trade, but you didn't lose anything. It didn't go the way you expect and you got back your money. That is the amazing thing, right? So now we would look for this. It probably is going to go back here. It has to break out before I buy it above here. Most likely, I think they'll come here and drop again. There are more euro news in 15 minutes. Oh yeah, I just saw that already. So Swiss. Okay, so here's where Swiss has to tell us now what to do. Take off all the entries in Swiss. If this is the one that is going to drop, we're still open to the possibility that it could go down one more. We're still open to the possibility that this could come back here, making this, you could possibly look at that as still a running flat. You could look at this as a bigger one, both of those options, and probably go back up, right? This possibility exists now. A big flat and go back up. So what's going to be the trade? Wait for a flag here in the 15. That's a 4 hour. Wait for a 15 minutes flag or a 1 hour flag. Now the 15 minutes flag are gone. Wait for a 1 hour flag. Wait for this to make a correction like this. And then we will sell it tomorrow. That would be the trade. Don't try to sell it now. It's going to tag you and keep you stuck there for a long time. CAD. CAD is going to come down, but there's a very, very high probability that even if CAD drops to this level, it is going to go back up, retest the top before they come down. It will come down in the bigger picture, right? In the bigger pattern, this will come back to this level at least. Just like the Swiss, we're probably going to get it here and then go. But this is not, this could come here and then go back up there, tag the top and then come down. This is making a flat at the top there. I don't expect that to drop very far. We do have a sell setup forming here. You have a flat forming here. So if you're going to get in the flat, you'll have to get in pretty early. If you can get it from the top coming down, that would be good. If you can get the trade from a higher point, like this, from the top coming down, that would be good. So let's see. Euro yen, take off the CAD. The Swiss, you take it off as well. Wait for the sell setup. Euro yen has a buy. 1, 2, 3, let it come back here. And then look for a buy from there going up. This is a flat in the middle forming here. This is not the one that will go. It will likely come back here before they go. See? So this is how we do it. We base our analysis on what we have, and I think this is likely going to make a flat here. It's going to break this top. It's going to break this top. Make a flat there. So I'll draw it. So tomorrow when we come back, we'll see whether our forecast was correct. I think they'll probably go there. I'm expecting it to come back here. And then we'll look for a breakout. From this point, two things could happen. It could totally drop or it could go back, but we'll see. I think most likely it's going to make a new high. So when it gets to the top there, if we get a sell set up in here, we'll take the trade. Can this be the one that go? Well, it is going without me, because as long as I see that that possibility exists, I have to make sure that it negates that possibility, which means it has to go above the top, make a flag, and then I'll consider a buy. So then I'm wrong. Right now, I think I'm right about it. Kadian? Also going up, but the question is to where, right? You've got this one. You can make an argument for this one as a running flat. And if that's the case, this is going to come down some more first before they go. It's not trying to go down as yet, because if they, unless they're going down really slow, something like this, then we'll figure out there's not a trade for a downside and we don't have a buy setup. Pangyan, you might be getting a buy setup here. So those of you who were with me this morning, when this was coming down, remember what I showed you. If you weren't there, go back and watch that webinar and leave your comments. We had 1, 2, 3. So I said, don't sell it because it's going to come here. It might make 1 or 2 more, and then it's going to start to do this. And if it makes a flat here, we want that sell. So you're in a flat. You have 1, 1, 2, 3. It's going back up. You can put a sell setup. Right? This looks like a small flag here. So put the sell setup under the low. If this looks like a small flag, and if that is a small flag, then it's probably going to break the low, go back up. Right? That 1, 2, 3, it could go back up like this, come back down here, go back up, and then drop. We're not interested in the upside until we break that, right? Until we break the top. So, and it is valid only if it stays in this range. If it comes here and go back up, you take this off, because it will come down, but then it's going to be a flat for 1 more, right? So right now, it's a sell setup. Keep it under the low. The trade to the downside would be huge if it drops. If it drops, we're expecting a big trade to the downside. So this would be a sell. Kadian, did we take it off? Yeah, we take it. You can leave the buy. It's not a buy. You can put a buy above the top if you want and stay with it. New Zealandian. Okay, we took this trade. We took this on the 15. I think we took it here under this one. If you closed it, it's no problem. If you closed it already on this pullback here, if you closed it, no problem. If you haven't closed it, wait for this pullback, close it, and then wait for the next upside, right? This one would probably come here, go back up there, complete this flat, and then drop. So it's still a sell, but close it. Don't keep it, right? You had a lot of time here to make that decision. Even on the hourly, you had about, yep. You got tagged here, so you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have a lot of time. It's going to pull back a little, close the trade, put the entry lower. So whenever it comes back there, if you're not to close it, put an entry lower for the sell. So it's still a sell, except you close and re-enter. If this goes much higher, we'll take it off. Aussie yen. We had an aggressive sell on this under 15. It was under the low here, under this low. So you got tagged, you pull back, you got tagged, wait for a pullback, close the trade if you're still in. If anybody took the trade, the choice is when it does this and it does this. You're in still, okay. So wait for the pullback, close it. So let's put it on the 1 hour. You want to see how many hours? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let this pull back here, close the trade, re-enter. It's still going sideways, right? You can see that. This is going up here. It's probably going to drop like this for this one. And then go back up for this one. Right? So you've got a small one, a small one, a small one. You got a slightly bigger one. It dropped. Oh, I see why we kept it there. We kept it there because we were expecting this one here to go back up like that and then drop. But instead it dropped. So this becomes like a lower version of it. This is the low. You got 1, 2 is doing that. It will do the same thing here. Close the trade, wait for it to go back up and then put the entry. And it's going to pull back, close it. It's and then yeah, we'll close it, we'll re-enter again. You can track it on the hourly as well. So I'll leave that open so we can follow up with it and see like when we come back. Let's see what Swiss yen is doing. I'm gonna almost go through all of them. We have a buy on the Swiss yen. When were you tagged in it? Let's see. You were tagged 1, 2, 3. You're still in you're still in this one. I just didn't. It's only 1, 2. Right. This is still a flag. Right, so you're tagged. It's going not going very fast. It's up. It's a choice. Give it some more time. Let this hour close. Sorry, we have a lot of divergence forming and we're a very high point. Let this hour close. If it closed positive, the next one will put it to break even. Remember, we're at a very, very high point in the daily, the weekly, the hourly, everything. We're getting divergence. This could turn anytime. So if it's not going so fast, get the hell out of it. If it moves, if this makes a big move, take the profit off. Euros. Just leave it. We don't have anything. Not for the buy, not for the sell. It could be the buy as well. You could get a buy here going up, right? Going back to this top. It's about somewhere here. On the 1 hour, we don't have anything. It's not a flag. Let me see. No, this was a high. That's not a flag. Right? This was an impulse up. So wait for something. Not a sell setup, not a buy setup. You're in New Zealand. Are we making another running flat somewhere? Most likely. If this makes a flag here, we'll sell it. If it makes a flag in this range, we'll sell it. We don't have anything in that range. Something like this. See this one here, that piece there? Or even this one. See that big pullback there? We'll sell that. So let's see what they give us here, and then we'll look for a sell setup. So we're waiting for a flag. Euro Swiss. You should be in this. If you closed it, let's see if we have another flag. No, if you close it, wait for another flag. This is going to drop, and it's going to drop really good. Right? I don't want to put an entry here because that's a little too far stretch, but wait for a flag and take the trade. So we're waiting for a flag here too, right? You're a cat. Okay, we came down. Let's see what we have in the 5 minutes, what this piece looks like. It's a flag. It actually made a small flag here, kind of this, right? We did break the top. We came down and we're consolidating here. Leave it. Leave it. We don't have a clear consolidation here in it, right? This actually dropped first, then went up. So the correction would be this. The correction would be this one. It went up, it came back down, and then consolidating here. Right, so it can probably do this, come back here, go back there. We don't have a trade. I'm not buying this at this point in it, right? We're not buying it at that point, and we don't have a sell setup. So we'll take this off and we'll wait on that. Wait for a flag or wait for a reversal, and then we'll take the trade. Because they broke this flag, and by rule, you should be out of that trade already. 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. It's not going anywhere. Your cat. Your pound. This has a buy setup to break the top. So there's a trade forming at the top there to break out. Let's see in the 1 hour, you have this on the 15. You can make an argument for an expanding flat here. And the break of that top. If you want to trade, put an entry here. Once it goes here, you have to put it to break even. Hope that it really moves up high. So the hope is it goes very, very far. Euro is not going anywhere. Pound is very likely going to drop. So this might be a good trade. It's a risky trade, but it's a good one. Put it here. Put this an aggressive buy. And let's go with that. Pound Swiss. Oh, we have a running flat here already. If you sell it here, you put a stop here. The downside is limited. but Pong is going. So you can put a sell here, just under that low with a stop above the stop. We're looking at this running flat. We're looking at this running flat here. I can take it from here or take it from there. It doesn't make a difference. This is the one we're looking at. And we're looking at this one. So this could drop. Keep your stop above the flat. Right, so your stop is above the flat there. At least one more impulse down. Let's see where it goes. It could go one more down. Okay. If you're in the buy, put that to positive. If you're in this buy here, put it to break even. We could go a little more here and then drop. So once it gets a little more there, take the profit. Either you get break even now or you get a profit there, but I think it can go a little more. So you can get, you're making new highs, so stay with it. Put it to break even and stay with it. We're expecting it to go there, and then from there we'll see if we get this drop from that point. So that buy is still active. I'll leave it. Pound New Zealand, it's still a sell. It went above here, but it's still a sell. Structurally, it's still a sell. You can go with 1, 2, 3. You can go with 1, 2, 3. Actually, you can sell it here. That's an aggressive sell, right? You wanted to break out of this structure. So if you got tagged here and it comes to this level slowly like this, close the trade because they're going to go back up. If it drops through the bottom, stay with the trade. So that is an aggressive one. Let's go. I like it. I think that's the most amazing one right now. Keep a tight stop above this stop here. It's not supposed to go back, tag you and go back up. It has to tag you, come to the low, then go back up. So if it tags when it's not dropping, get the hell out of it. But keep a stop here, because if they go back, they're going to break this stop. This is a perfect consolidation. I don't see them tagging you going back up, or keep a bigger stop here just for the safety. Don't let this stop you, but keep the stop there, right? So you can keep the stop there. The target is actually way down at the bottom here. So that stop is still going to give you good rewards. If it's a contracting flat, we're coming to break this low. If it's not a contracting flat, they're going to do this and then go back up. So you'll still get a very good, more than one-to-one trade. So put it on the 15 and let's go. Pause. You probably didn't manage to close this trade. So your stop is at the top there. If it goes there, take you out, take the stop. If not, wait for it to come back. If it comes back only to about this level here, slowly close it. If they drop through and drop to this level, take profit. Right? I expect them to come and break this low before we go back up. So you take profit there. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, I should have taken it off. So let's go. You're still in the trade, so watch it when it comes there. It's probably going to give you break even. We have a small flag here, but we're not going to sell this now. We're going to wait. Aussie, New Zealand. Let's see. Nothing. Aussie CAD. Nothing. Aussie Swiss. You should be in this trade already. Should we have closed in this trade? No, not as yet. And the 1 hour we only have 2 up, 1, 2 up, right? So you're not closing that trade as yet. And now you're dropping. So this is a good trade. Now put it to break even. Now this trade goes. Remember the same thing happened here with this one, but this one we closed here. So in this case, you put this to break even. You can't lose on that trade and it's going your way. This has a big move to the downside. If you can keep that for a longer period of time, you need to break this low. So somebody was asking the question, what is the secret? This is the secret. Looking at every trade, making a decision based on where you think it's going to go, what the pattern is, and what your strategy is. See? Pretty simple. No big secret. You have to learn this stuff. Anybody who tells you the trade has a secret in it, you find a different direction and run very fast away from it. It's hard work. learning knowledge. No secret. New Zealand CAD, let's see. Pull it. It went back to the top, pull it. It's coming down, but it's going to be a bigger flat, most likely. Take it off. New Zealand Swiss. You guys should be in this trade. I don't know why I don't have it on, but I think we could go with an extended one here, or is making a new one. The extended one is a better one. This correction, this sharp move up. So yeah. Can we sell it now? Let's see. Or are we in the big picture? We already broke the big low. It really took a long time to come. We were trading it from this place coming down, but it's taking a long time. Wait for a different one. Leave it alone. It's a little mess. Leave it alone for now. We're in the Aussie Swiss, right? We're in the Aussie Swiss going very good. So leave the New Zealand Swiss alone. Let's see what we have in the CAD Swiss. And we also have the CAD Swiss. This is an amazing trade. I don't know how many of you are in this trade. Come on, let's get some yes. How many of you are in this trade? It couldn't have been easier. It's a giveaway trade. Come on. You're breaking the big structure. Only 1, 2 per group. Nobody else in the trade. You guys don't trade this? Okay. See? Good trade. You have everything you wanted. I couldn't have stressed it more. This is not the first time we sold it, by the way. And we were expecting it to come all the way to the bottom here, break that low. This one is a running flat, a big running flat. Take that off. That was the up move. That finished. We got this running flat here now. We're coming to break this low. And that is an amazing trade going. So the first trade we had was from the top here. Then we took this one. We closed it in here yesterday, or this morning. We closed it. We put the entry order under the low. We closed that and we put the entry order here. No, I think when we came in this morning, it was already here and going back up. So we decided we're going to put the entry order under that one there. Good trade. You can actually stay with this trade a little longer until it starts giving you sideways and then close. Natural gas. You're getting a sell setup here. It might be worth taking it. The problem with this sell setup is we have a sharp impulse in it. That is this one. And that's the problem, is that if you take this, it is going to drop, but then it's going to do this. Finish that one and then go. So not really you might not be able to get out in time before it drops. So if it does that and go back up, then you sell it. That would be the safest trade. Oil. Yep, it's a sell. But I don't care if this goes a little higher. We're still looking for a sell setup. We don't have a buy until we break this stop, until we break through this stop here and make it a flag. Otherwise, it's not a buy. Until then, it's still a sell. Both of them, still a sell setup, even if they go a little higher. Nothing's wrong with that. Expanding flats exist. So unless it proves it's not an expanding flat, don't try to buy this into this piece. You can get yourself in trouble. Let it go up, make a flag, and then we'll buy. S&P 500. So you should be in this trade. Actually, you should have been in this trade higher. You could have been in this trade from this point. Any of my traders did this, you're amazing if you put it there. Oh, well done, Gills. See, some of my traders are very good at doing this stuff. You should be in that cell. So for those of you who were not in the trading room with us, one person just left. He just lost. That's his loss. He wouldn't understand what I'm going to tell you here now. All of you, most of you were here when we were in that buy, when we closed that buy. When this dropped and this happened, and I said, okay, we're selling this. And I told you this is going to do 1, it is going to go back up, do 2, and then it's going to come back up for this, and then it's going to drop. Try guessing that. We took this trade, now we're taking this trade. You try guessing that. See how it works. So far, it's good, right? Even if it doesn't go down, I think just this trade and that trade and this trade is pretty good, right? Getting those trades. Let's go. Same thing here. You should be in this one. Why is this one so low here? Oh, it's under this low actually, but you could have moved it up to this one as well. when this happened, when that go back up, you could have moved it, but it's okay. And this one, all these are cells under this low. This one, you could have moved it up to this level, right? If you want. So I'm going to leave it where I had it, but you could have moved it up there on the cell. Now be careful with this one. This one went way back to the top. So we might have even pulled this one. If we were in the room, we'd probably pull this. I'll take this off. If you're in the trade, just put it to break even and keep it, but I'll take it off because if I was in the room, when this come back to the top, we'll pull it. These two are good. This one, you see, this one didn't go back to the top there. It didn't go back to that top. We'll stay with this. We would have put this entry here. Keep it here. This one is, yeah, this one is good. It didn't go back to the top, so we would have sold it here. Perfect. See? So I'll take this off, and these are two cells. Because this one, we would not take the trade. This is what we would do. If this comes back to the top here, I would say take off the trade. It's going to come down. I would expect it to come down, but my thought process is it could come here, tag you, and go back up. This would be a smaller one. So now that you see this possibility here, you will have to be careful with these two as well. Right? You have enough profit to go to break even, but watch it what it's doing here before you put it to break even. Right? Be careful with these two as well, because these don't have that possibility, but just because that one has it, let's see if that one starts dropping. I think they can drop all the way to the bottom here today. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow morning, if this afternoon we're at the bottom here and you're not in the trade. Don't jump in the trade now, please. Let's go. Nifty. We took off DAX. It was going crazy. We took it off. Wait for a flag, sell it. Nifty. So one trader asked me about Nifty when Nifty was doing some kind of stuff here. Sorry, let me go back. And I hope he's in the room now so you can see what I've done. When Nifty was here and doing this, and I told him, watch for it to do 1, 2, 3, 1. This is going to come back here, do a 2, go back up for a 3. If you're in the room, you would know, right? Or go back to this day and check it. It's exactly. And then what I told you, when it comes to this level, it can also come back here, do another 1, 2, 3 here, drop here, and then go back up. But you should buy this. Why you should buy that? Because when it comes to the top here, it could also take off. This could be all the correction. So you buy this, when it gets to that top, you put it to break even. If it drops, you get break even, you wait for this, you decide if you want to sell that. If not, look for the buy. Pretty easy. The magic works. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, here's the interesting thing if you weren't in this morning. Bitcoin has a weird structure. We're not going to go into details. You can actually put a buy here. If it drops lower, take it off. If this goes up to the top, put it to break even. So Bitcoin has a buy setup here, and it's worth taking the trade. There's a reason why. I think with Bitcoin, and we have the same setup here. Put an entry above the top here. If they come lower, take off the entry, which means if this keeps dropping lower here, take off the entry. As long as it stays in that range, that entry is valid. When it goes up, put it to break even. Right? If it goes really up, we did tag the low here, and we have this structure. Right? Let's go in the 4-hour. And we have this structure. So we have a sharp move up. We have a relatively sharp move down. We've got this one up here, and then we got this relatively sharp move here. This could go back up like this, break this top, and then come back and retest the low before you go, making this a big flat here. Right? That's one option. The second option, this is all your correction, and this thing just takes off. Now you would want to see where this is on the daily and the weekly to make sure that that could be a low. So you can go in the daily and say, well, could that possibly be the low in the daily? I think so. And I think this could be the low on this correction coming down. And this could take off. Or it could go to this level, like I said, make a top, come back here, and then go back up, making this a bigger flat. By any case, when it gets to this level, you can already put it in the positive. So if it comes back down, you'll be out of the trade, but then we'll repeat the same thing to buy from here to go up. You can get this. Right? That's a very, very strong probability. It's a probability game, so I like the probability in it. How would I look at this structure if I have to look at this structure? I look at this as an expanding flat here, a running flat in here, for a bigger running flat here. 1, 2, 3. It could have ended here. This could definitely go, or it could make another flat here and drop one more and then go. I think this is part of the correction. If I'm wrong, then no problem. You still have all of this here to make this one the smaller flat. I don't know how much is in here. That's why it looks sharp to me. This down move looks sharp to me. I'll have to see how much it correct, what was the pattern inside, and then decide, well, maybe this is the top. Could be. But I like the trade from where it is. The entry order above here makes sense. Right above this one here. Just above. If it drops lower, it wouldn't bother you. It wouldn't tag you. So, okay, guys, I think we're going to leave it at that. Any questions? Let's take some questions. Or any trade you want me to relook at, anything. Let's go. We'll take it for a couple of minutes. We're already at more than an hour in here. Let's go. Any questions? Anything you guys want to ask? Euro USD. Let's go back and look at Euro USD. Any specific question, or you just want to know why it's dropping? Wait for the sell setup. Remember, before the news, we want an entry here, right? That is going to drop. Remember my word before the news. The higher probabilities is going to go down. And that is why I put some of the euro for sales. You see all the euros are looking like sell setups here, right? Euro Oz. Wait for it because this is still looking like a flag. Euro New Zealand. Wait for the sell, wait for a small flag, go for the sell. Euro Swiss, wait for a flag, go for the sell. Because if you, I think during the news we had that. I don't know if anybody is still in. If you're still in, good. If you're not, wait for a flag. EuroCAD. This one we had an entry here before the news. We took it off. Wait for a small flag on a 15. It will make a small flag. Wait for it. So you can put this wait for a flag too. Wait for the small flag, get in the trade. It's gonna make one. It wouldn't drop like this and don't go thing, right? You don't see this one drop. If you jump in here, what happened? It go right back up, right? This drop, if you jump in here, it goes right back up. What's you gonna do? You're gonna come back and you're gonna say, oh my God, look what happened. We'll probably look at this and say, well, yeah, that's a running flat. I don't think it's a running flat though. That's why I said wait for the flag. Don't jump in the trade. Euro pound, we have the buy. This has to really drop and make a flag before you sell. But the euro dollar, wait for a flag. Don't sell it. It can go right back up. Wait for a flag. I wish it had moved during the news. Anyway, they had another news event just now, right? 445. Yeah, that was a way back too. That didn't affect it. It's gonna stop and make a flag. The idea that it will not stop is kind of, I know you're like, okay, this is gonna drop without me. I wish the first news one would have dropped. That would have been perfect because we had an entry here. This is not a sell flag. See, this one came back to the top, so wait for another flag here. And then go into trade. It will, don't worry. It's gonna stop very soon and make a flag. Anything else? Don't chase it. And don't jump into it. That's not a trading strategy. If it goes without you, don't worry. I think the only one we should have kept it on was it the Euro CAD or the Euro Swiss? This one we should have kept the entry here. This entry was very good at that point. Yeah, it's going to come to break this low, so it will stop and make a flag before that happens. Don't worry. It stops, it makes a flag, you're gonna get the trade. Pound just hit, let's see. Pound trade. Just stack, perfect, good. Pound you're in. This one we kept, this is gonna drop. This could go. If it stops to consolidate, close, re-enter. When I say close, re-enter, I mean close the trade at the very bottom of the flag, put an entry lower. My traders should know how to do that. See? Magic works, right? So, okay, guys, anything else? Let's go. Any other questions? Okay, somebody just wrote me this week, you learned a lot. That's the whole point of doing this, is to help you guys to learn as well, right? Now, go share it, go share that idea with everybody out there so they can know that it's worth coming, they'll learn something, or at least they'll watch the video. Let's hope they do. And you know, you must know a set of traders you trade with. Invite them tomorrow. Let's double the crowd. So thank you guys for coming. You're being amazing. The week is coming to an end. That's a little sad, but that's life, right? So tomorrow is the last day. I would see all of you in the morning and in the afternoon, and then I wish you all the best. I hope you join us. I do hope you join our group because you would learn quite a lot if you do. There's a lot more to learn. This week is nothing compared to what you're going to learn. Expanding flat on which one? Oh, you mean in general, if we can forecast the expanding flats and expanding triangles? Yes, we can. They're very rare. You don't see expanding triangles that often. Well, you see expanding, even contracting triangles, I hardly see them. What I see sometimes that we take for expanding triangles is double expanding flats. Structurally, they look better that way. So you can forecast anything. If you know the patterns, you can forecast it. Right? So what time? We have time, 34 of you still in the room. I'll give you a little secret. Everybody's asking for a secret. So let me give you a little secret. Since you guys stay on, for those who watch this video to the end is going to get a little secret. Here's a little secret. Don't forecast on the names of the patterns. Don't focus on it. Don't focus on labeling the patterns. Don't focus on trying to figure out where they go by fibbing them. Don't do all of this stuff. You're wasting your time. Focus on understanding the patterns, understand the behavioral patterns, how they behave, what they do, what are the variations of them. If you do that, what you're doing is you're saying that if this pattern is to repeat itself, I have an imprint of that pattern in my brain. I mean, let's be honest. We have to, sometimes you got to look at things, and this thing is going up really strong. How many traders you think would look at a trade at the top here, when it's here, when it's exactly at this point? How many traders look at it exactly at that point and said, I think this thing is going to drop. Let's put an entry order for a sell here. Going up, it's going up really strong. Many traders in the world are going to say, okay, this is an impulse. Come on, let's get a buy here now. And I'm like, no, watch it. It could drop. Put an entry here. It all is based on patterns. I have so many imprints of these patterns in my head that I'm looking at them and said, wait a second, I've seen this before. I have a very clear idea what it can do. So it's my knowledge of patterns and my experience both kick in at the same time. That is why when you join me, you don't only get my knowledge, you get my experience. You get to get the experience. Why did I look at you and I tell you there's a higher probability euro is going to come down? You're all in the room, right? I just said this when we were doing this. I said there's a higher probability this is going to come down and go back up. Why? That is more experience. I know the pattern. I see the pattern. There is a probability for both ways. But I look at it and said, you know what? There's a higher probability for downside. So experience does work. We will relook at this pattern when it's finished, and we'll see maybe we have some more complex pattern. I think somebody was, since yesterday or last week, somebody was giving this option as well, which is possible, right? We just have to wait and see. We can't prove that pattern as yet because that is really, really complex, right? I am not sure that when we come here, it will still be a correction. I think when we come here, we can totally drop, but we will keep our minds open for all the patterns, all the possibilities that exist. Let's see, right? That is trading, and that's the amazing thing of this wave analysis that you have. It is really amazing. Yeah, Pong is going, if you don't get a yen, you got a Pong, and it's going to drop and break the low. So you'll get a good trade. Let's see if we can get the euro to pull back and give us a flag. So, okay, guys, anything else? Focus on understanding them. Focus on you can spend years and years on this, or you can join us and learn it faster. That's the whole point, right? And then you'll get more insight into how it behaves. It's really, really interesting. It's amazing. As a topic by itself is really amazing. I'll leave you with that thought. And we have, we have so many experienced traders to help you in the room. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Take care, trade with care. If you want to learn, join us. If you want to learn, if you don't join us, still keep learning. Don't stop learning. Never stop learning. If you keep learning, you're going to save yourself from getting Alzheimer's. Actually, the doctors put you in crosswords and all of that thing when you go there, right? It will help your brain to work here. As long as your brain is functioning and working effective, the chances are you, if it's you have it in genetically, chances are you can avoid it. My grandfather had it, so my mom does a lot of crosswords. My grandfather from my mother's side, the doctor tell her to do crosswords and read things she never read before, you know, do all kinds of stuff that are creating new synapses in the brain, trigger new synapses in the brain every time. If you're right-hander, start using your left hand to do things. If you're left-hander, use your right hand to do things. It's pretty much forcing the brain to create new synapses. Trading is the best thing for that. Wave analysis is the best thing to do that. Every single day, every single pattern, every single analysis is forcing your brain to work. Take it for that reason. Learn trading for that reason. Thank you very much. See all of you. Have a great day ahead of you. See some of you have a great night. I'll see all of you tomorrow morning. Take care. Thanks for coming here. Thanks to my traders for your support. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.